Playing House by Scribbler Johnny. Wake up! I want to play! The high feminine voice stirred him from unconsciousness. There was a bad taste in his mouth, and his eyelids felt like they were made of sandpaper. He opened his eyes and blinked several times. She became a clear image. A clown's painted face and painted smile. Didn't seem to be wearing a wig. Short brown hair, an actual crew cut. Clown makeup and military haircut together was an image so strange as to be absurd, and he laughed a little. This seemed to please her. She smiled. Let's play. She made no move to help him up, so he sat up on his own. Can I have some water first? He asked. His voice was unfamiliar to him in its hoarseness. She nodded and then walked away. He looked around. He was in a house, or a cabin. There were crayon drawings on the wooden walls. An Afghan blanket draped over him fell as he moved. He pulled it back up and tucked it into a heap at the foot of his bed. He saw a crude drawing of train tracks on sections of wax paper. He could see unused squares with different track shapes on them. The clown girl returned. She was wearing a green t-shirt that had 3 yellow triangles stacked atop each other, making a green triangle in the middle of them, and shorts that left little to the imagination. She was carrying a cup that was shaped like an elephant's head and a candy bar. Want to share my candy bar? She asked. Yes, please. Good manners. Yes, you may, she said, and it was in a cadence that made him think of a game he had played as a child called Mother May I. She handed him the cup and tore open the wrapper from the candy bar. He gulped down the water and felt much better. His voice started to sound normal again when he spoke. What's your name? He asked. She was portioning out the candy bar into fourths. She looked at him sharply for a moment, and then she said, Today, my name is Lily. I try on names like play costumes. I think they work the same way, really. Don't you think so? And he thought about that. Names and faces, faces in different clothes. Some names felt serious, some felt fun. I think you're right, Lily, he said. She gave him a piece of the candy bar, then began eating one herself. What's your name today? She asked. Did that mean that he shouldn't use his real name? Today my name is Jack, Lily, he said. What even was his real name? Was it Jack? How long had he been here? Did he know Lily? What was her real name? And did it matter? He swallowed his candy bar, and she began to sing, Come, little sparrow, sing me good morning. She didn't sing badly, but not very well either. Show me the light in my true love's eyes. She finished the song and held out another piece of the candy bar. He thanked her and took it, chewing thoughtfully. Do you know the rest of the song? He asked. Mustn't talk with your mouth full, Jack. Bad manners, Lily chided him. He nodded and swallowed. That was the whole song, she said. Come on, let me show you the game I want to play. He followed Lily to another room. It was a tiled floor with a drain and a big metal wash tub filled with water inside. There were boats and inflated plastic animals and monsters. I want to play Monster Attack, Lily said. She began putting boats into the tub. Sailboats, rowboats, more modern boats, military frigates. Pick a monster, Jack, she urged. He looked at the choices and picked a toy that looked like a scaly cyclops that had one horn. He made a playful roar noise. She seemed pleased. I pick the elephant, she said, and trumpeted, moving the plastic elephant's trunk. So we sink the boats with our monsters, but be careful not to break them, Lily said. Jack nodded. Why were they playing this game? Weren't they adults? Did they live together here? And why hadn't he known her name? Did he know already that she changed her name? And why wasn't he asking these questions instead of doing what Lily told him to do? Roar! Smash! Jack said, moving his monster's arm to capsize a frigate. The toy boat took on water, but it didn't sink quite yet. They played monster attack, splashing and making noises and getting wet. The water ran down the drain. Lily's shirt clung to her breasts as it got wetter. She didn't seem to notice, so he thought it would be rude to mention it or to stare. When the last boat sank, Lily cheered. Good job! We sank all the boats! The monsters win! She gave him a high five. She opened a cupboard and unfolded a towel, laying it over the towel floor, and began taking boats out of the water and letting them drain a bit before setting them on the towel. He helped, following her example. Then she took out another towel and unselfconsciously took off her shirt to dry off. She pat-dried her hair and her face. Well, take off your wet shirt too, Jack, she said, giggling. He did. She handed him the towel and put their shirts over a bar riveted to the wall. She still paid no mind to her now bare breasts. Jack wasn't used to casual nudity like this, but clearly Lily was. He dried off. Lily watched him, smiling. Where should I put the towel? Jack asked. She took it from him and put it over the bar, just like their shirts. That was a good game, he thought. That was fun, he said. Let's play train station. You go set up the tracks and I'll get the train ready, Lily said. She began to walk away, and Jack thought that setting up the tracks should be fun. Please, may I have some more water, Lily? He called out as he arranged the squares of the wax paper for the hand-drawn train tracks. Did Lily draw these? Did he? And why were these things familiar, yet also strange? His hands continued setting up a fairly intricate loop with the tracks. Lily carried a box into the room and took the elephant cup. Yes, you may have more water, Jack. I need some too, she said. She returned with just the one cup, though, still topless and smiling. She knelt beside him and swallowed some water. Then she filled her mouth with more, and instead of passing the cup to Jack, she set it down and held his face in her hands. Her cheeks bulged comically. She kissed him on the lips then, with her eyes wide open. He found that he wanted to kiss Lily, and then she let the water pour from her mouth into his. He swallowed. Was this strange? After he swallowed all of the water, she smiled and kissed him again. It's a good thing I rescued you, Prince Jack. Now, with true love's kiss, we can be married and live happily ever after in my castle, she said. Is this another game, Lily? He asked. She shook her head. This part is real. We're not playing house. We live together for real. I'm really the brave princess who rescued you from a witch. He nodded. Did the witch cast a spell to make me forget things? Jack asked. Yes, you have amnesia. But I'll take care of you until the spell wears off, and then we'll be happily ever after, Lily said, using that same cadence. She smiled dreamily. Want another true love's kiss? She asked. Yes, please, he said. She slurped up the last of the water and gave it to him in a kiss again, and then giving another kiss after he swallowed. Does true love's kiss always have water? He asked. She giggled. No, silly. That's just a special thing only you and me do. True love's kiss is any time we kiss because we're in love. True love, she said, and kissed him again. She seemed to lose interest in kissing and began setting up the train, taking each car from the box in turn. Ooh, I like the track you made, Jack. He felt a warm feeling for pleasing her with something he had made. Is that what love felt like? They took turns pushing the train around the track, imagining the train was going through a forest to a small mining town that needed to trade coal for medicine. The train took the medicine and exchanged it for the coal and went along. It was good the people could get the medicine they needed, and Jack wondered vaguely what time it was. He realized there were no windows and no clocks. What time is it, Lily? He asked. She shrugged as if it didn't matter. She put the train away. Will you carry the box for me? She asked. He nodded. He followed her into another room and set the train box on a shelf that she pointed to. Let's get some food, she suggested. I'm hungry, he agreed. She led him to a corner of the room that had cardboard boxes stacked high. All of these boxes had black crescent moons printed on them, and words that he couldn't make out from his current position. Lily opened the flaps of a box and pulled out a brown plastic bag. Country Captain Chicken, she said with evident relish. This is a good one, she added. She took Jack's hand and led him back to the bedroom. She tore the bag open and dumped its contents on the floor by the wax paper train tracks. I'll see if our shirts are dry, Lily said. Don't eat without me, Jack. I won't, he promised. Lily came back wearing his brown t-shirt and handed him her green t-shirt. He tried it on, but it was too small. He took it off before stretching it out too far and ruining it. Your shirt won't fit me, Lily, he said. She seemed disappointed, but took off Jack's shirt and pulled hers on. Jack pulled his shirt on and looked at the smaller cardboard boxes and the plastic bags that had been the contents of the bag. Mr. E has given us good food today, Jack. A chocolate mint pound cake, country captain chicken, wheat snack bread, and cheese. Also, this teeny bottle of pepper sauce, and toilet papers, and some gum, one for me, one for you, a spoon, and yucky tea. She handed him a rectangular brown plastic pouch. Please squeeze up the cheese so that it gets good and soft and mixed. He squished the pouch around and rolled it between his hands. His hands had done this before, too, it seemed. Lily tore open another pouch and took out a piece of bread and tore it in half. One for me, one for you, she said, smiling. He handed over the squeezed cheese. She bit a corner and tore it open, squeezing the orange cheese goo onto the two pieces of the wheat snack bread. She handed him one, and they ate together. How long will we live in your castle? He asked. She swallowed and smiled. Forever, ever, Jack. We'll live here safe and sound and happy forever, ever. He nodded and ate his bread. They took turns eating the vegetable stew out of the main pouch using the spoon, and there was a chunk of pressed formed chicken meat left inside. They took turns taking bites, holding it in the pouch. The food was good, Jack thought. Lily seemed pleased. She got more water, but they shared the cup this time. And then it was time for the pound cake, which she tore in half, handing Jack his half with an eager grin. It was even more delicious than the candy bar. He actually said, Yum! Lily nodded. She put the 2 square pieces of chewing gum onto a shelf, as well as the toilet paper. And then she carried away the refuse. "Where does the trash go?" Jack asked when Lily came back. "The incinerator," she said, with a bored tone. And then she perked up. "I want to read a story," she said. She left and came back with a book. She led him to the bed and snuggled behind him. She held the book out and wrapped her arms around him, and then began to read out loud, looking over his shoulder. This was a story he liked, and he liked having Lily cuddling as she read to him. He imagined the story in his mind. It was a swords and sorcery epic about a family of adventurers. After a while, Lily folded a corner of the page that she was reading and yawned. "Time for a nap," she declared. He took the book from her hands and set it down on the floor. Jack then rolled over to face Lily. "Are you going to sleep in that makeup?" he asked. "No, I guess not." She seemed disappointed. Lily went away and came back with her face clean some time later. Jack had fallen asleep while he waited. Her face without the makeup stirred a memory, and he woke up when she returned and lay beside him. In his memory, Lily had longer hair, and she was looking down at him, her gleaming necklace slapping into his chin. Her dog tags. "Lily, are you a soldier?" he asked. I remembered something. She smiled. "I was in the army, yes. Brave princesses often are, if only for a while." She climbed with him again. "Was I in the army?" he asked. "No, Jack. You were a diplomat prince, not a warrior prince, and that's why you needed me to rescue you." Oh, that made sense. Lily kissed him and wrapped her arms around him. She dimmed the lights using a switch and closed her eyes. And she smiled with her eyes closed. Jack closed his eyes too. It felt natural to smile in Lily's arms, and he drifted off to sleep again. There was smoke. White, choking smoke. He coughed and tears blurred his eyes, and a firm hand grabbed his arm. "This way, sir. We're here to rescue you." It was a female voice. Lily's. He allowed himself to be led, and he heard the sound of a helicopter and a man's voice. "I'm going to flush your eyes, sir. Try to keep them open." He tried. Water poured over his eyes and his face, and the burning feeling began to lessen somewhat. "Very good, sir. Let's try again." He forced his eyes open with his fingers, and more water poured over his face. He then had to shut his eyes. "Good to go, sir," the man said, shouting. "Go, go, go! Extraction complete, Bigfoot 0." Lily, smiling at him, wearing full battle rattle. "Everything's going to be fine, sir. I'm L.T. Brinker." "Lieutenant Brinker?" "Yes, Lieutenant L.T. Brinker, sir." Some laughs. A debriefing. It was more like an interrogation. "I told you everything. I told them. I sang like a canary. I'm a civilian. I'm sorry. That's why we have need-to-know policies, right?" he explained to the spook. "All right, Mr. Davison. You'll be assigned to quarters for the foreseeable. Brinker will be your liaison." "You mean she'll be my jailer?" "Whatever makes you smile, Davison. Negotiations have fallen apart. They have biologicals." "God, no." "Afraid so. You'll be informed when the situation changes." And he woke up. Lily, Brinker, was still asleep, her mouth open slightly. Why had he lost his memory? Was the dream a memory? Was Lily L.T. Brinker? And then who was he? He tried to sleep some more, but he couldn't. He tried to disentangle himself from Lily, but she held him firm. She was strong. He gently pulled her arm away, and with the gentle pressure she released. He slipped his legs free, and he crept away. He needed a toilet, and fast. In the dim light, he was able to find a toilet room. It was separate from the washtub room. Why was that? He strained, and was amazed that it didn't chip the porcelain. He wiped and was surprised to see the toilet paper was clean and dry. MREs, dry wipe. How long had they been here? And what was here? He didn't flush for fear of the noise waking Lily. He looked around. No windows, wood-paneled walls. There was a door with a small window. He peered outside. All he could see was a bare concrete tunnel. So, were they underground? And how long had they been down here? Did you have that dream again? Lily asked. He jumped. He hadn't heard a sound. He turned around. Which dream? He asked. The one where I'm keeping you locked up because the government doesn't trust you, she replied. Are we going to have a bad day where you don't trust me? Jack sighed. I had a dream where you rescued me. The government didn't trust me, but I woke up after the government spook said that the enemy had biological weapons. She smiled at that. You dreamed the real truth, she said. The president of Kazakhstan, Svetlana Zagdiev, launched biological missiles after you were unable to get her to see reason. She used drugs to warp your brain, and you suffered memory loss. So we live in the bunker to wait out contamination? He asked. Almost. We live in a bunker to wait out the end of the world. What? Nuclear, biological, and chemical birds flew from everywhere. She frowned. We're the only ones who made it to the bunker. It was blind, stupid, doodah luck. It's just you and me? Just you and me. Nuclear batteries keep everything running. Jack stepped away from the door. How long? He asked. Time lost all meaning. No calendars, no clocks. Some days you or I go crazy, she replied. Something sank inside him. Are we really in love? She smiled reassuringly. I hope so. Like I said, some days you don't trust me. I trust you, Lily. You pulled me to the chopper. That's not all, but it will do. I'm glad your memories are coming back. Me too. She reached out to him, and he walked to meet her and gave her a hug. She returned his embrace. Is my name really Jack? He asked. She pulled away. No, Jack is Lily's lover from that movie, Legend. Is your name really Lily? That it is. Lily Tomlin Brinker. She smiled. If we're married, why didn't you take my name? She frowned. We're only married in our hearts, Peter. If there was still a government, or a world, I'd do it right, and wear a pretty dress and get a priest and everything. Lily began to cry. He held her. Peter Davison. He stroked her back, and he said, It's all right, Lily. If we're all we've got, we're all we need. She sobbed for a while longer, and then said, The important thing is I do it. Really, before God and witnesses, I know you're not a dirty traitor. You're right. I'm not a traitor. I talked, but I didn't know anything that she wanted. How does our bunker have toys? He asked suddenly, walking back towards the bedroom. They all do, just in case children had to bunker up. Hey, he began, what if we have kids? Lily choked. Can't. We both had surgery before we met. No Adam and Eve here. Oh, oh God. So we really are waiting out the end of the world, he said. That's why some days we go crazy. And then she was kissing him, pulling his clothes off and whimpering. She fell back and pulled him with her to the floor, pulling his hand toward her breast. It was the saddest and most desperate act of love-making he could remember. Afterward, laying there, cuddling and trying not to cry himself, he realized that it was likely one of many. But suddenly Lily was touching him and kissing him again. I know you've got another in you, champ, she said. He surprised himself by finding out he did. Well, we ought to shower, she said, breathing heavily. Peter's heart pounded. I guess so. As they showered, there was another flash of memory. Making love in the shower. Lily's muscles were more defined than they were now. In fact, she was ripped. She had cut her hair, though. He snapped back to the present and scrubbed Lily's back. At one point, she slurped the water as it ran down his chest, and she smiled up at him. He remembered her kissing water into his mouth the previous day or whatever. They toweled off. How had I not seen the shower in the tub room yesterday? He asked. Is that what you call it? I guess you were stunned by my beauty, you coulrophile, you. Huh? The word means someone who loves clowns. They carried their clothes to a laundry hamper, and Lily led him to a wooden chest. We separated out the clothes that were in our sizes a while ago, she explained. He put on a pink t-shirt that had a yellow star on it and some blue denim shorts that fit him. Lily pulled on a black tank top and some yoga pants that matched it. She looked at him and she sang, Steven Star, and she smiled big, but her smile faded at his blank expression. Steven Universe. You look like him, sorta. I can pretend to be Amethyst, and we can have an adventure for daily exercises. Okay, whatever you say, Amethyst. She giggled. Tag, you're it. She tapped him and jogged away. Now don't run too hard. We don't have lots of room, Stephen, she called out. He jogged out of the room, trying to chase her. She jumped and she tumbled, and she was very hard to catch. Come on, Stephen, you can do it. I won't make it easy. He chased and he reached for her, but she was much faster and smaller, and that put him at a disadvantage in the cramped bunker. He was soon breathing heavily and simply couldn't run any more, but he walked to try to catch her. She allowed him to catch her and gave him a kiss. You're so naughty, Stephen, kissing me like that. This was confusing, but he played along. Oh, I can't help it, Amethyst. I'm in love with you. Her face lit up. Oh, I love you too, Stephen. I don't care what Pearl or Garnet or Greg might say. She kissed him again and held his hand to the center of her chest. Touching my gem, can you feel how much I love you? Huh? Yes, I can, Amethyst. And she then put one of her hands on his navel. I can feel your love when I touch your gem, Stephen. It's like I can feel your feelings. And then she stepped back. Follow me, I have an idea. She jogged back to the bedroom, giggling. And as he walked to the room, he heard some music begin to play. Electronic dance music. Amethyst was clapping and stomping her feet. He saw her dancing, and she turned her back to him and stretched a leg back and gyrated her hips as she looked back at him with a smoldering glance. Dance and fuse with me, Stephen. Weirder and weirder. He wished he knew what she was talking about, but he liked the music and his body wanted to dance to it, waving his arms and swaying to the rhythm. She danced toward him, shimmying, and took him into her arms. She twirled him and dipped him, if only briefly, and then kissed him again. Fuse with me, Stephen, she whispered. Okay, I fuse with you, Amethyst. It turned out that fusion meant making out and some light groping. He got an erection, but it was kind of painful, and he told her so. Oh, that's all right, Stephen. We'll fuse another time when you're ready. She climbed off of his lap and then said, Monsters! We have to stop them, Stephen. That means push-ups, now. She assumed the position and began doing push-ups. He followed suit. You better push planet Earth like you love her, she ordered. He tried to work harder, but she was in much better shape. He took to his knees. Okay, give me 3 more or the monsters win, she said, still exercising. He managed 2.5 before he collapsed. All right, I guess I have to beat them alone, she shouted. But after 3 more herself, she quit. She took to her knees, breathing heavily. I used to be stronger, she said. Strong enough for me, Amethyst. After catching her breath, she said, Okay, sit up, Stephen. I don't want to see your gut. I want to see your guts. She held his ankles. He managed 18 sit-ups. Soft, Stephen, soft. We'll work on it. And then he held her ankles. She did 70. We'll have to burn off the MREs, you know. They're loaded with calories, she explained as she rested. She walked away and returned with 2 bottles of water. Take water, she said. He drank and gulped. Slowly, slowly, she said. He nodded and sipped. All right, you pick the chow, she said. He went to the storage room and he grabbed the first MRE bag. The label said bean and rice burrito. His stomach turned. His body hated the bean and rice burrito, so he grabbed another, vegetable manicotti. This one was acceptable. Vegetable manicotti, he called out. She shook her head. That was a test. The next pack was the vegetarian meal bean and rice burrito. Bring the correct meal. But I hate that meal, he whined. Stephen, you need discipline. I know I'm not a good example, but it's the truth. Without knowing why, he spoke in a ridiculous accent. You lack discipline. She laughed out loud, and then she frowned. Get the damned burrito. Her voice had a dangerous edge. He slumped and switched out the meals. He was scared now. She could hurt him if she wanted. She was a soldier. She could kill him. He started shaking and had to lean on the stack of boxes. Stephen, I'm hungry, she sang out in a playful voice. He held the hated burrito meal and walked back to the room. Here it is, Amethyst, the bean and rice burrito meal ready to eat. She took it from him gently and gave him a hug. Sorry I got mean there, honey. I hate it too, but we gotta eat 'em. There's no one to trade 'em to, she said. Please don't hurt me, Lily. I love you, but you frightened me, he whispered. I'm so sorry. Do you want to stop the game until you feel normal again? He nodded at this. She gently pulled him to the floor beside her and tore open the bag and dumped it out in front of him. The good news is Skittles. The bad news is bean and rice burrito. The good news is hot cocoa mix. The bad news is crackers and peanut butter. The crackers were hard and dry and jagged in his mouth. His 20-ounce water bottle did not have enough water to help him make it through eating those dry crackers. The bean and rice burrito was not fit for human consumption. It was a brick, a hard, flavorless brick. The pepper sauce didn't help. He choked his portion down, his body rebelling the whole way. Lily actually cried. I hate it so much, she sobbed. Then why? He demanded. Nothing wasted. We're here until we die. He looked at her knee. I'm sorry. I'll be tougher. She nodded her appreciation. And Lily walked away and returned with the elephant cup. She drank some of it and handed it to him. Peter drank it down. Hey, can we watch a movie? He asked. Sorry, Pete. No movies. There's a laptop, but no internet, no games, no porn either. Just some record keeping, supply requisition, a link to the military email, and Microsoft Word for some reason. He had an idea. What about radio? She shook her head. Just my iPod. I meant Como. There's nobody out there, Pete. Just us. I'll make the cocoa. She walked away again. The iPod began playing a song from the 70s, some disco song about boogieing, a fever, or boogie fever, or something. There were other bunkers and shelters on this post. There had to be. There had to be other survivors. But LT was a soldier. She would have tried to establish contact so that she could receive their orders, right? She was an officer. He was a diplomat. Someone would have orders for them, if anyone was left. Lily returned with the elephant cup, steam rising from the top. Lily, Lieutenant Brinker, tell me the truth. As the ranking official, tell me, did you attempt to make contact with command? She stood at a position resembling attention. I did, sir. Numerous times. No contact of any kind, sir, she said. Multiple frequencies, encrypted and not? Yes, sir. Very well. Dismissed. As acting president of the United States, I pronounce us man and wife. She smiled. The third time, and my heart still sings to hear it, she said, offering the cup. He set it down. I've married us 3 times? Yes, Peter. I don't mind. I know your memory is returning as your brain heals. Did they torture me? Yes, sir. Sleep deprivation, exposure, chemical enhanced interrogations, malnutrition, and sexual assault. Sexual assault? President Zagdiev forced herself on you while you were bound and gagged. You couldn't stop your penis. When she saw that you were crying after she had her way with you, she gave you something to cry about and had one of her men sodomize you. I'm sorry. I still love you. She picked up the cup and blew on it. Have I needed reassurance like that? He asked. She nodded. You said you felt emasculated. like your own manhood had been stolen. You felt powerless and worried you'd be impotent. We sure proved you wrong, didn't we? She smiled at the end and she sipped the cocoa. You wanted to let it cool. It was a lot to digest. Do I have hallucinations? Nightmares? He asked. Yes, she replied, and took another sip. Which one? Both. Also, sometimes you have flashbacks. They're not always traumatic. Sometimes you have nice flashbacks about making love to me. I don't mind those. When did you cut your hair? Our second sleep in the bunker. We were in love before the bunker then. She frowned. I don't think so. I rescued you, and I was one of your protectors, but we didn't really get to know each other until the bunker. But I remembered. I saw you in the sunshine, with longer hair looking down at me, and your dog tags hit my chin. She looked saddened by this. Oh, Peter, I wish that were true, but it had to have been a dream. He reached for the cup and she handed it over. He sipped. It was surprisingly good. Name brand mix. You're sure we never dated? He felt frantic. He needed to be sure. He had recalled it so vividly. Oh, I would have, but no, never, she sighed. He accepted it. It must have been a dream. And he wondered, as he sipped more of the cocoa, what did Lily dream about? So he asked her, I dream about Montana. I dream about you. I dream about butchering Zagdiev. Where are we? Hohenfels, Germany, or what's left of it. She took the cup and sipped. We aren't even in the U.S., he mused. Technically we are, but geographically no. He drank some more, and then the cocoa was gone. He checked the bottom of the cup like a drunk in an old comedy. Lily took the cup to wash it out. He had to use the toilet again. This time he did flush, and he washed his hands. He looked at himself in the steel mirror. Pale skin, clear complexion, black hair and a buzz cut, just like Lily's. Brown eyes, nose a little too big, lips a little too thick. He splashed some cold water on his face and returned to find Lily sprawled in their bed in a very sultry pose. Yesterday, a fairy tale princess, chaste as could be. Today, a sex kitten. He worried what other surprises might be in store, and he didn't like the implications of the burrito MRE scene. He smiled at her, though. If you want, I can put on some purple makeup and we can pretend I'm Amethyst a little more. And we can imagine a little more strenuously. She breathed and smiled seductively. He wished again that he understood who Amethyst was. Do you want to do that? He asked. She nodded enthusiastically and said, Uh-huh. Okay, Amethyst, he said. He felt like enough time had passed and his gonads should be recovered from the 2 prior sessions. He took the time to study the crayon drawings on the wall. They were really good considering the medium. Whose artwork? A mountain, trees, a goat, shining sun, clouds. Bob Ross could have done it. A cruder picture of a 2-story house with a well-done dog beside a crude doghouse and 2 people, one black-haired, one brown-haired. The people were amateurish, but not too bad. He didn't know how long he'd spent admiring the artwork, but he was surprised to feel a rope or something wrapping around his waist. Come here, Stephen. I've got something to show you, she said, and she pulled on the rope. He allowed himself to be reeled in and turned to see that Amethyst was topless and mostly purple. You just lay down and let me do all the work. You'll like this, I'm sure, she said. He stripped and lay back down on the bed. Close your eyes and trust me, Stephen, she said. He obeyed. She tied his hand to the bedpost. He opened his eyes and began to protest. Trust me, she interrupted. This will help you, I think. It's purely fantasy. It's safe, it's consensual, and it will make all that trauma start to go away. Amethyst will never hurt Stephen. He closed his eyes and trusted her. She bound him, hand and foot, with that rope. He was secured, but not hurt. She didn't blindfold him, didn't gag him. Okay, Stephen, remember, I'm an alien with magic powers. I was friends with your mom, but I never get old. I am your friend, too, and I love you. Check. You're tied up to release yourself from guilt, from shame, and from responsibility. I have the responsibility. Everything that happens now is my fault. I will never hurt you, she said in measured tones. He shut his eyes. I trust you, Amethyst. She began by touching him slowly, lovingly, letting him get comfortable with keeping his eyes closed and being unable to move very much. Then she kissed him, tender and slow, touching his face. This continued for some time, loving touch rewarding his trust. After she felt satisfied, she said, I'm going to make love to you now. Give me your permission, or not. He thought about this. It was a fantasy, a magic alien woman named Amethyst. I give my permission, Amethyst. He released all illusion of control and responsibility. He was in Amethyst's hands now to do with as she saw fit. She did as she said she would. It was incredible. He kept his eyes closed as best he could, but he had to look from time to time. She hadn't used up all the purple makeup, he hoped. Amethyst made love in a different way than Lily, even though he knew she was still Lily, especially easy to remember since most of her wasn't purple, but it was a fun fantasy. I want to touch you, Amethyst, he said. Nope, you gave me all the control, Stephen. We're going to heal your psyche. Oh, I love you. He closed his eyes again. I love you too, he called out. She lay atop him, her heart thudding against his chest at the end. After she caught her breath, she said, That was amazing. We need to more often. Tie me up or be Stephen and Amethyst, he asked. Yes, was her reply. She sighed and quickly untied him, seemingly with one tug at each corner. You're really good with rope, he said. It's supposed to be Amethyst's magic whip, but I made do. You're a real good sport. How do you feel? She asked. I feel great. It actually felt therapeutic, he replied. Is the game over now? For now, yeah. We should be Peter and Lily after this. For aftercare. Aftercare? This part, right now, where I untie you, end the game, make sure you're okay, and let you talk about your feelings. It felt good letting go and trusting you to have control. But you still had control. You had the power to say no. That's the key. I had only the control that you allowed me to have, she assured him. How did you get so good with rope? Montana cowgirl. Also, I took some kinky classes. This made him laugh. You want to be Harley Quinn and Batman next time? He giggled some more at that. Maybe not next time, but I like the idea. Eventually, we'll move back to reality and use the rope as just Peter and Lily, and then we'll only use the rope when you ask for it. Then you'll be cured. He hoped that she was right. He didn't want nightmares and flashbacks anymore. He hugged Lily tight. How much makeup do you have? He asked. A freakishly large amount if you considered this is a bomb shelter. We have all sorts of weird crap, like a sewing machine, fabric, string. So a theater dork stocked it, he observed. No movies, no DVD player, but supplies for costumes and makeup and books. Lily laughed and laughed. Oh, it makes sense now. Some general's wife was a stage crew lady, and she packed the bunker so that she could put on plays. After that, they laughed together. I can see it. Back in the 70s or something, her community theater put on Free to Be You and Me for the kiddos, and she found her calling. Lily then climbed off of him. Better get this off, she said, pointing to her makeup. Hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you go, he replied as she walked away. She slapped her butt as a response. He sat up. He had felt his weariness and his anxiety and his worries melt away. Her voice had gotten harsh like that because she hated the burrito as much, if not more, than he had. That was all there was to it. He gathered up the rope to be helpful and tidy, and he rolled it up like he had seen gaffers do with cables. Lily returned and dressed. She pointed to his penis, so Peter dressed as well. Read to me from the book this time? I want to hear you do Grimhorda's voice, she requested. He found the book and picked up where she left off, and learned that he enjoyed doing voices for the characters. Maybe he was a theater dork too. He stopped when he started yawning and marked the place using a Rules of Poker playing card. He dimmed the light. I hope you keep your memories tomorrow, Peter, Lily said. Me too. He fell quickly to sleep, with Lily hugging his back. That night he didn't have any dreams. But he woke up alone, and this frightened him. There were no train tracks on the floor, no ropes, no weapons to protect himself. No camera, no shackles. The door was open. Or was it another trick from Svetlana? He slid out of bed, the blanket falling to the floor. Blanket? Train tracks? He was in the bunker with the nice lady, his protector. I'm awake. Where are you? He said out loud. I'll be right there, sweetheart. Oh, good. He folded the blanket, and a green woman wearing a dress came in behind him. He jumped and screamed a little. Who are you? It's me, Princess Fiona, the green woman said. Why are you green? I'm an ogre, she said, and it was so basic that he knew he was missing something. Oh no, you don't remember, do you? We were going forward with good progress, too. He shook his head in confusion. Where's my protector? She smiled in relief. That's me. It's just you and me in your house out in the swamp. Nobody comes to visit? He asked. No, and we like it that way because we're ogres, she said. But I'm not green. I don't hold your handicaps against you. And he felt like she was making fun of him. Why don't I remember? You were cursed by an evil witch who made you drink bad potions, too. She rested her head on his chest. So you rescued me? She nodded. Why did the witch do that to me? He sat down and held his head in his hands. She wanted you to tell our kingdom secrets, but you wouldn't do it. You were brave. That sounds familiar. But I did tell her things. She just wanted to know things that I couldn't tell her. And he remembered. If you're Fiona, who am I? He asked. Well, you can be Shrek, or you can be Prince Charming, or Thelonious, or Monsieur Hood. I remember Shrek, he said, brightening. What kind of knight are you? One of a kind, he recited, and this seemed to please her. Okay, I'll be Shrek. That means we're in love. Or did we get married yet? He asked. We are married, she affirmed, and sat down beside him. When did we get married? He asked. When true love's kiss gave love true form, she said. He nodded, remembering the story. Why are we in love? He asked, frowning. He had never asked that question before, and Fiona wondered how much memory he really retained, and how much he trusted her. On bad days, he would get very paranoid. How can you ask that? We go together perfect, like chocolate and caramel, she said in a slightly pouty voice that usually endeared her to him. Sure, but why are we in love? Am I handsome? Do I take care of you? Do I help you meet your needs? What is it about me that's special? She didn't like where this was going at all. Listen, Shrek, do you need to use the toilet? Why don't you take a few minutes, wash up a little, and then come back here, and then we can dance. She knew he always liked dancing. His body loved dancing, even when his mind was jumbled. So Shrek went directly to the toilet room. His body knew where to go. She turned on her iPod in its dock and played that song from when Sarah danced at the masquerade with the Goblin King. You know the one. She put it on loop. She knew that he could dance with her to this song until he dropped. Then no more questioning her love. That was dangerous thinking, the kind that led to escape attempts. She had to save him from himself, and hoped that repetition, mixed with changing characters, would trigger some kind of workaround in his brain patterns, and that would fix the pathways his thoughts and memories went along, and no more memory loss. She was no doctor. It was just a theory she had, but it made sense to her, and she hoped that it would work as a neuro-linguistic programming or something. She took the pose, one hand up as if looking for something, head tilted. She wished she had a wig or 5 to work with, but you use what you got. He returned and was stunned. He walked to her and said, I love this song. Shall we dance? Back on track. They danced, and he sang to her, and she rested her head on his chest as they danced. She knew it would make him feel protective of her, and thus very in love. They were alone in the world, and they could be anybody they imagined. Jack and Sally, Jareth and Sarah, Grimhorda and Kumak, Tristan and Isolde, Sinedra and Belgarian. Falling, falling in love, Shrek sang. He was still wearing his Steven Universe t-shirt, but she didn't care. She gazed up into his eyes, and his own eyes were moist. She smiled sweetly. Hook, line, and sinker. Crisis averted. I love you so much, he said as the song began again. We mean a lot to each other. I saved you. I protected you. We live together. We like the same things, but we have enough differences to still be interesting. And most important, neither of us likes bridge, cribbage, or hearts, she explained. He made a yuck sound. I hate those card games. She nodded up at him. You know about me, but you forget. And so I get to fall in love with you over and over, but not in the no nookie way like on 51st dates. I put out, she said with a lecherous grin. And he had a series of memories of them making love. A lot, I guess, he said, refocusing. Uh-huh, and you love it. What do you like most about me? He asked, stopping. Uh-oh. Think fast, Lily. You are brave enough to be vulnerable with me. Nice one, girl. He nodded, pleased. What do I like most about you? My imagination and my dedication. He seemed pleased by this, too, and resumed dancing. She thought she had him, but he was still asking dangerous questions. But he was silent, though, and that did not reassure her. She took his hands and placed them firmly on her butt. Sweet ass, don't fail me now, she thought. He gripped, she squeaked, he grinned. Safe. Lily detected that he was getting tired, so she broke away to twirl and turn off the music. That's what I like about you, she sing-songed and twirled again. And he seemed pleased by this, too. Shrek, do you know what we need to do today? He shook his head. We need to check our air filters and maybe rinse them. We should change our clothes to work clothes. He nodded and walked toward the clothing chest. He remembered plenty. Unless it was muscle memory? They both changed into plain white t-shirts and denim shorts. Shrek noticed they were both barefoot. Why don't we wear shoes, Fiona? He asked. Ogres don't need shoes, she almost laughed. But something was amiss, he could tell. As they looked around, only one filter needed to be rinsed. They returned it to its slot, and it was still damp, and he wondered if they should have done it that way, but admitted to himself that he knew nothing about air filters. And then it was time to do their laundry, using wash tub and washboards. Can you believe I learned how to do this in BASIC? She asked, scrubbing her green t-shirt against the washboard. He shook his head. He emulated her, and she said that he had cleaned the clothes once he had worked on them well enough. They hung the clothes and underwear to dry. There is satisfaction in a job well done, he said. She nodded. Isn't it nice that we can stay here forever in your house with no one to bother us? She asked him with a smile. Yeah, we can just stay here forever and be together. I like being with you, Shrek replied. She took his hand and led him to the bedroom. She motioned for him to wait. So he waited, looking at the crayon drawings. He wished he was a better artist. The pictures that they had made together were ruined by his touch. She returned holding a fur, something. This is artificial, but since we're both animal lovers, I thought you'd like to pet it and pretend, Fiona said. No stuffed animals? He asked. Well, there's a teddy bear, but most of the toys are wood or plastic, and who pets a teddy bear? She replied. So what's the story? He asked. It's a stole or a shawl or something. He waved her forward, and she sat beside him and placed the fur between them. He stroked it, but even if he closed his eyes, he couldn't pretend that it was a pet. She seemed to enjoy stroking it, though. So he moved behind her and held her while her imagination took flight. She hadn't painted the back of her neck green, and he gave her neck a kiss. Fiona, will I get my memory back? He asked. I'm sure you will. You just have ups and downs. That's life. What are you imagining? Well, you and I are cuddling with our pet bear and drinking grape soda. What's our bear's name? Arthur? Arthur? Like the aardvark in those books? No, like the Dudley Moore movie. And suddenly he began singing in a falsetto. Once in a lifetime you find her. She giggled. That's the one. She leaned against him and lifted up her face and closed her eyes. He looked at her. After waiting, she whispered, This is an invitation to kiss your beautiful wife. He kissed his beautiful wife. If you ever want to see your beautiful home again, you will tell me where the encryption key is. A harsh voice spoke in his memories. He jerked. She knew what that meant. Hey, stay with me. Don't go to the bad place. Don't go there, Peter. But it was no good. He went to the bad place, and his interrogator, Oksana, smiled. Ah, I knew you'd come back, Mr. Davison. My associate Azamat had his doubts. Oksana was built like a bulldog and had a face like a square shovel. Her gigantic Mother Earth breasts strained against the utility shirt she wore. Was your vacation pleasant? Her English was perfect, but her accent made some words sound extra harsh. I'll tell you everything I can. Please stop hurting me, he murmured. He was thirsty and in pain. Oh, I wish I could believe you. Azamat and I don't like hurting, do we? Azamat said, No, we do not like hurting. We like sharing and victory. I have not had training to resist interrogation. I wasn't told anything about the encryption key for any missiles. Please, it's the truth. Okay, if you don't know, why did your escort have an ID card with a microchip? Why does your own have a matching microchip? Oksana asked. I told you it's universal. Everyone has them now. If you have the card in your PIN, it saves you from needing a password. I'm a mediator, not a ballistics engineer. I just negotiate. I'm a diplomat. I'm not a spy, he insisted. Peter, Peter, she chided. We have the missile. We seized it. Where is the encryption key so we can disarm it? I didn't know there was a missile. I'm a peace envoy. I was supposed to charm President Zagdiev and make Kazakhstan our ally. Peace, not war. He wanted to cry, but his eyes were dry. Would you like some water? She asked. Yes, please. Good boy. Manners. Azamat returned with a plastic cup. The water tasted metallic, but he drank it all. Charm me, Mr. Davison. Make me believe you, she ordered. I'm so weak. I can't make up any lies. Miss Oksana, I told the truth the entire time, he pleaded. She seemed pleased at his admission of weakness. And then he had an idea. Can I tell you a secret? He asked. Without Azamat listening, I'm embarrassed. She concealed her smile, but triumph gleamed in her eyes. Without being ordered, Azamat left and closed the door behind him. Oksana, I'm very scared. My strength is all water now. I don't have any fight left. She smiled, pretending sympathy. I escape into a bunker in my mind, he continued. She nodded. There's a woman there, a strong woman. He saw a flush at the base of her thick neck. We change our names and we play games. Children's games. Yes, like sharing secrets, the kind you whisper in her ear? Oksana asked. He nodded. Do Kazakh children play games where they pretend to be adults, working and raising a family? She nodded. In America, this is called playing house. I play house with this strong woman. I trust her, and I tell her all my secrets. She is worthy of my trust, this woman. I admire how strong and powerful she is. He leaned close. I'm in love with her. My life is in her hands, he whispered. She nodded. Will you keep my secret, Oksana? I'll tell you the name of my dream woman, who I pretend is my wife. He looked down, feigning embarrassment, but then he looked up at her, hopeful. I'll keep your secret, Peter. My life is in your hands. She leaned forward. Whisper it in my ear, Peter. Her name is, pause for effect, Oksana. Tell the truth to get captured, lie to get free. Her ear turned red. It's true. I'm in love with you. Please don't hurt me any more, he whispered. She pulled back, breathing heavily. She stood and knocked on the steel door. We're done today. He won't talk. I'll take the prisoner to his cell. He shows willing, so give him some soup tonight. It should loosen his tongue. Oksana, please, I told you my secret. I'll tell you everything, he replied. She knew he would. She held him by the back of his neck, with her hand on her sidearm, Azamat trailing behind. One reason Oksana was so successful was in fact her appearance. She looked like everyone's stern aunt or mother. Prisoners wanted to obey her. Azamat pondered this. He wondered what trick the American would attempt. Would he cry and blubber, hugging her knees, and then grab for her Tokarev pistol? She kept it loaded with the safety off, but never with a round in the chamber. Prisoners who attempted to escape with her pistol were always so shocked, staring dumbly at the click, and never thinking in time to bother to cock it. Then it was too late. He slowed his pace. The American surely thought he was alone with Oksana, or would be. The last desperate act before being broken. He nearly pitied the deceptive bastard. Oksana gently pushed him into his cell, then reached for the door. He whirled. Wait, Oksana, I'll tell. I promise I'll tell you everything. Just... He looked at her chest. She obliged him by inhaling deeply. She had no illusions about her appearance. She knew many men were always longing to be mothered and held against large breasts like hers, longing to suckle like infants. And then to have sex. She knew it well. She let him stare for a while. It's just, I'll be a traitor, he finished. Will you let me stay with you? I can never go home, but If I can be here with a strong woman like you, I can survive. Was it Stockholm Syndrome? Obsession? A lie? Which would it be? She unbuckled her pistol belt and dropped it outside of the cell for Azamat, then entered, closing the door behind her. It locked. Okay, Peter. Just you and me, she said. And the camera, he said, pointing. She nodded. Yes, but no microphones. We learn nothing from people talking in their sleep. Not like movies. He seemed disappointed. So, you were telling truth? You love Oksana? She asked, playing up to the fantasy that he surely had, with her accent being thicker and with her speaking poor English, using the uniform and seduction. I do. You are my whole world now. She hadn't heard that one before. You like my breasts, don't you? They are big, like your mother? She asked, caressing her proud bosom. He shook his head. A teacher. Da? You had dirty schoolboy fantasy about teacher? She disciplines you, then gives in to animal passion? More than fantasy. She made me a man. She hadn't heard that either. It stirred something in her. I see. So you hope Oksana will take care of you, teach you how to be Kazakh, let you touch her breasts? She was enjoying this, hoping it made him feel uncomfortable, and it seemed to work. I don't like saying it like that, he demurred. So you say instead, Oksana, I love you. Oksana, you strong. Oksana, I am weak. Please, Oksana, please, no more hurting. Oksana, I love you. She took her hands away from her bosom and she sneered. He stared at the floor. Okay, I give less. This is how you say breasts. And she told him the Kazakh slang version. This how you say, I wish I could suck on Oksana's big, beautiful breasts, but she will not let me. She said it slowly, accenting carefully. Say it. He repeated, but he stumbled and couldn't say the whole sentence. She repeated and repeated until he got it correct. Every time you see guard, you tell them that. Every time you see Azamat, you tell him that. Every time you see Oksana, you tell that. Her voice lowered, her face flushed red. You get on knees and tell that now. I wish I could suck on Oksana's big, beautiful breasts, but she will not let me. He almost cried. Again. He said it again. She unfastened the bottom button of her utility shirt. She waited, expectant. He repeated. She pulled the top button free. Waited. Again. She alternated bottom and top buttons, revealing her gray-blue undershirt. He chanted it like a prayer. The final button. He couldn't look anymore. The American stared at the filthy floor. Look up, Peter, she said, mock sweetly. He slowly gazed up at her. Her fingers grazed the plastic button. His eyes widened. She slowly unfastened the button, moving her shirt and holding the sides together. He repeated the phrase, and this time he managed to say, But she will let me? He asked, hopeful. He might have begun with a lie, but pupils don't lie. His dilated pupils revealed how aroused he was. She pulled her shirt open, letting him feast his eyes. "She will not let me," she replied. "Now tell me you love me." With the act over, her perfect English had returned. "I love you, Oksana. I am yours. But what about your secret bunker? I don't have the key card to there, do I?" He sighed. "I lied. The woman in the bunker isn't you. It's L.T. Brinker. But if you let me into the bunker, you would tell me, wouldn't you?" "You'll never get in the bunker. You hurt me. You used my love to degrade me." She scowled. She tugged at her undershirt. "But, Peter, I still have these," she said. He looked into her eyes and repeated his new prayer. But the hatred she saw in his face made her take a step back. He looked into her eyes and he repeated it again, and she quickly buttoned her shirt and collected herself. "Enjoy your soup, Peter." "Thank you, Oksana. You know all my secrets now. L.T. Brinker was my last secret." And then he repeated the prayer. She left him behind. He climbed onto his pallet on the floor and closed his eyes. "I'm sorry, Lily. I told her about the bunker," he whispered. But soon he was back at the bunker. He was safe. She was cradling his head on her lap, and this time she was wearing angel wings and a white sundress. "It's all right, Peter. You aren't a soldier. No one told you sensitive information. There is no way you could tell them anything that they could use." "Is there a missile?" "No, Peter, there is no missile." He wept. "They tortured me and degraded me for nothing." "I know, my love. That's why you can come here. Psyops trained you with this bunker. This is the way you stay sane." He thought about that. "I feel it starting to fall apart, though. I'm going crazy. I'm retreating here too often. It's okay. Here you decompress, de-stress. You come back there stronger. Tell me what happened and see if I'm not right." He told her. "Now, if that evil witch was right, and you were obsessed with big breasts, why aren't mine big?" "My breasts are just B cups," Lily said. And Peter sat up. "You're right. Even when you pretend to be Amethyst or Fiona, you stay petite. You're the same shape. You don't get big. Ha! That Kazakh cow has no idea. I'm not broken at all." "Soup," the guard said, opening the tray port in the door. Peter thanked him and repeated his new prayer. The guard laughed and closed the port. Peter drank down the flavorless soup and ate the vegetables, which had been boiled to mush. He set the tray beside the door and drank his water, feeling triumphant. He crawled back to his pallet and lay down on his side, facing the wall. He could never sleep long. His arm would go numb or his hip would hurt. But he closed his eyes and went back to the bunker, and he played house with LT. "We need to get the troops to Kuwait, Colonel Potter." "Okay, Major Houlihan. Use the Chinook helicopter." "Yes, sir." She lifted the toy helicopter and made chock, 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 chock sounds while spinning the rotors with a finger. He followed her to the map that they had set on the floor. "Go, go, go. The LZ is yellow. Repeat, the LZ is yellow," she said. "Establish the perimeter, Sergeant Major," he ordered. He moved little green and tan plastic soldiers away from the helicopter. "All clear. Good luck, boys." "Thanks, Major. See you on the flip side." She moved cardboard and paper buildings into place and set up more green and tan army men. Our objective is the hotel. There's no civilians in there. He made bang bang noises. Good, Pete, just like I taught you. Suppressive fire to cover the assault. Now to assault the hotel. How do you breach? A ram. The assault man, Uriarte, has the ram and the cool gun. He could imagine his Marines clearing the hotel, stacking up, moving with practiced precision, communicating, firing for effect. He wished someone were breaching this dungeon to extract him. Peter, you're here with me, playing, remember? But the play is very serious suddenly. Why are you teaching me infantry tactics? Because I'm coming for you, she said seriously. What? I'm your liaison, remember? PsyOps wouldn't let you go see a loony like Zagdiev alone. I'm coming for you, and my Marines are going to take the building. Why not SEALs? Taking you was an act of war. Congress finally declared war on Zagdiev and Kazakhstan. We're getting you out. LT? Lily, please. Do you really love me? She looked distracted. I would die for you, Peter. We're coming. Stay strong. They were eating the vegetable manicotti MRE. What had happened to the army men? And she was smearing peanut butter on the wheat snack bread. It's getting really bad, Lily, he said. Tell me, she urged, setting down the bread. I'm getting new and conflicting memories. Marines extracting a hotel, you psychically communicating with me. This bunker, but it exists only in my mind. It's all so confusing. Okay, Peter, we'll go over the facts, okay? Just the facts. He nodded. I'm Lieutenant Lily Brinker, U.S. Army Psychological Operations. I was your liaison before your diplomatic mission launched. I escorted Army infantry that rescued you. That company was led by Captain Howard Marshall. After debriefing, I was still your liaison. Kazakhstan launched a biological warhead at New York. Every country launched ICBMs that had them. We made it to this bunker. Only us. With me so far? He nodded. As far as we know, humanity is dead, except maybe Greenland, parts of Australia, and those poor researchers stuck in Antarctica. Even then, I don't like their odds. Feel my individual hairs, she said, rubbing his hand on her head. I'm real. This is real. These jumbled memories are your brain getting everything sorted out. Is that why I remember having conversations with you about PsyOps? Because you're a PsyOps officer? She nodded this. And then he froze. Where did they get the warhead? Why were they interrogating me for the key? We don't know. We suspect that it was Soviet in nature and Zagdiev stumbled upon it. She was insane, and she was convinced that you knew. How did they launch an armed missile after I was extracted? And why was I locked up after? If I didn't have the codes, why was I treated as if I gave them away? This was huge. She took a deep breath. Peter, I'm not psychic, but you are. You memorized the codes and you destroyed the key. You broadcasted the codes to our receiver, a cyber parrot named Osric. You were supposed to dump the data using your training, but since the Kazakhs launched their bird, Intel wanted to be sure you didn't leak. I didn't. I forgot all about it. I know, but it's moot now. Just you and me, remember? You're lying. This is an elaborate sham. You still think I'm a traitor. He stood.
You said Zagdiev thought I had the code because she was crazy. Then you said I did have the codes. What the hell is going on? Lily remained sitting. Please sit, Peter. He slumped back down. Peter, I'm sorry. I've been making up interesting stories to keep us both sane. You aren't psychic. There's no cyber parrot. You really didn't know. Hammond wanted someone to blame, and he tried to crucify you. The truth won, but it doesn't matter anymore. That's the truth. Scout's honor. So I got interrogated by the enemy and my own colors because both sides had assholes with the authority to order it. She nodded sadly. Do you love me? He asked. I love you. Are we going to die in this hole? We're going to die here in this hole. Am I insane? We both are. Having it out in the open somehow made it all right. He ate some of the peanut buttered snack bread. Tomorrow, I want to play Harley Quinn and Batman. Yay! The end.